Hello everyone, this is Pooka and welcome to another edition of Bad Deck Monday, where we take kind of a fun concept and see what we can do with it. And today we're going to look at something people have requested for a while. It clearly belongs on Bad Deck Monday. This is just a fun deck and nothing more, and that's going to be Raticate. So Raticate has two attacks here. The first one we can basically ignore, because we're hardly ever going to use Gnaw Through. We're focused on good old Super Fang. So it puts damage counters on the defending Pokemon until its remaining HP is 10. Sorry, we can bring a Pokemon all the way down to 10 HP. Well, we're also going to combine this with Hypnotoxic Laser. And that way we can poison our opponent, and then Super Fang, so we put them down to 10 HP, and then the poison finishes off that Pokemon, doing the additional 10 damage in between turns to take it down. So between Super Fang and Hypnotoxic Laser, we can get one-hit knockouts basically on anything. Alright, so that's the basic concept. Now, why is this bad? Well, Raticate has 60 HP. So, that's not very good. That's going to be knocked out. Basically, if you just kind of breathe on Raticate, it gets knocked out. So that's a major problem. Also, it takes 3 energy, so it's very difficult to power up constantly. It's just not something we're going to be able to do very often. But let's take a look at some other partners we have here, besides our 4/4 Raticate line. Now, since we need to use Hypnotoxic Laser a lot, we also revolve around Sableye, because Junkun allows us to get back item cards. So this allows us to get back some of those Hypnotoxic Laser and, keep spamming our lasers and getting our Super Fang knockouts. That's basically the idea behind Sableye. Just get back our important item cards whenever we need to. Alright, we also have a small line of Garbodor here. Now, Garbotoxin takes away everyone else's abilities if it has a Pokemon tool attached. Why do we need this? Well, Virizion EX has Verdant Wind, which blocks special conditions, which makes Raticate absolutely useless because we cannot Hypnotoxic Laser and Super Fang for a knockout anymore. So in order to shut off Virizion EX, we're going to have Garbotoxin, and that way we can resume our strategy of getting one-hit knockouts. That's really all we needed for, so we're just going to run a small 2-1 line, but it is important against that particular card. That's about it. We also have one Absol, since it might be nice to do direct damage at some point, not just Super Fang all the time. Mind Jet can be a nice attack sometimes just to get some big damage. If your opponent has a full bench or something like that, it's just a very simple non-EX attacker that we can throw in here. We can also power it up with Dark Patch if need be. We only have one since we don't really need to power up Absol too often, but it's just nice to have a backup attacker. And then we have one Minun. This is one of the funniest Pokemon you can have in this kind of a deck. So Minun is not a very good Pokemon at all, but it has slight synergy with Raticate. Let's say that we used Super Fang and left a Pokemon at 10 HP. Well, later on, we could then pick that Pokemon off with Electra Shower. Does 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. So the idea here is, if, a Pokemon gets away after we've hit it with Super Fang, we can get it on the bench later with Minun and Electra Shower. And we can actually set up some very funny things sometimes. If we have more than one Pokemon with 10 HP left, Electra Shower can take a bunch of prizes at once. So this is just kind of a fun card to include in here as well. Alright, so those are the Pokemon for the deck. We're basically just using Raticate, and then these other Pokemon are kind of afterthoughts, sidekicks to help out the big rat. Alright, so let's take a look at some other stuff we have in here. I mentioned powering up a constant string of Raticate is going to be difficult, so we actually have some EXP share in this deck. When your active is knocked out by damage, you can take a basic energy off it and attach it to the Pokemon that has the EXP share. So this allows us to retain some energy and get our Raticates going. Alright, so we can just keep getting more and more Super Fang. There we go. That's the idea. We've already seen the Hypnotoxic Laser. We also have a bunch of searching cards. We have 3 Level Ball and then 2 Ultra Ball. Level Ball gets just about everything in this deck, except Garbodor and Absol. So that's why we have some Ultra Ball as well. We do have our supporters for the deck, just 4 N, and 4 Professor Juniper, and then we have a couple Skyla, and some Colress, and then 1 Tropical Beach, since, whatever. Doesn't hurt to have that in our deck. Definitely don't need to play it, though. You can cut that for another supporter if you wanted to. We have a Professor's Letter just to search out. Our basic energy Super Rod will help us shuffle in our fallen Raticate friends and get them back in the deck so we can reuse them. And then we have an Escape Rope just as a nice switching card. 3 Float Stone just so we can use Garbotoxin when need be. Also, Free Retreat is pretty nice for the most part. And our ace spec for the deck is going to be Dowsing Machine, since this will allow us to use Hypnotoxic Laser one more time. And then our energy, pretty simple, just 6 Darkness Energy, 1 Lightning so we can Electro Shower, and 4 double Colorless Energy, the only reason that Raticate can work at all. Alright, so there's the deck. Very simple strategy. Obviously, it is not going to be a very good one, since Raticate only has 60 HP, but you can have a decent trade-off against those big Pokemon EX, right? Those give up 2 prizes when they're knocked out, and with a Super Fang and a Hypnotoxic Laser, we can take 2 prizes in just 1 attack. So that's where Raticate can win some games sometimes, taking down those big bad Pokemon EX with our little rat. Alright, so here we go. Here is the Raticate deck. Of course, we're going to see it in action as always, so let's see. Can Raticate get the job done? I don't know. We see a mulligan from my opponent. We see Hypnotoxic Laser, Dark Claw, and all sorts of stuff. So we can see there's going to be some kind of a dark deck. I think that would be a good assumption. And yes, there is a Darkrai and another Darkrai. And right away I'm realizing, oh boy, Darkrai is a real problem for Raticate. Night Spear is a very, very bad thing when you have 60 HP Pokemon. Just 2 Night Spears to the bench, and it's an immediate knockout. So, that's not going to be good for our little rat friends. And, you know, most people use Evoltal EX nowadays, but an old school version like this with Darkrai really can be a problem. So I'm actually pretty concerned about this. We'll see if we can find some way to overcome Darkrai. Normally we only see 1, maybe 2 Darkrai at most, but man, I have no idea how we're going to deal with 3 Darkrai. Night Spear is probably just going to pick us apart, but you know, we'll give it a shot. Oh well. Alright, so we'll begin by playing a level ball for a Rattata, and then go ahead and attach an energy to the bench. And I'm actually going to use Tropical Beach this turn. I'm not going to bother with the Hypnotoxic Laser, since doing damage doesn't really do anything with this deck. You have to just Laser and then Super Fang. That's what gets the job done. So I'm actually just going to hold on to the Hypnotoxic Laser in this kind of a situation and, you know, see what happens from there. Now, we do see a regular Evoltal coming out with an Oblivion Wing on Sableye, and that's actually going to be very annoying, since I'll get knocked out by Poison coming back into my opponent's turn, and that's just not going to be a pretty thing at all. Fortunately, I do have another Sableye I can just throw down, and, you know, I can probably push him up as a sacrifice next turn, but otherwise this is not looking great at all. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to go about this is. I think we're just going to power up our rats, and hopefully, you know, once we start trading blows, Raticate comes out on top, but I'm not really sure. We'll have to see about that. I do get the Trubbish, and I'll be able to level ball here for a Raticate. Looks like we also have 2 Rattata Prize, so that's beautiful. Not only is this Bad Deck Monday, but this is just not pretty at all. So let's see. Got another Sableye we can put down, and I'm going to go ahead and use Tropical Beach to end my turn. And then I'm actually going to promote Trubbish here. I don't see Garbodor being extremely useful in this matchup, but if I'm going to put a float stone on something, it's going to be a Trubbish. So we'll see if it survives. I'll just be able to float stone and retreat, and then we'll, at least get to use Garbotoxin. I guess it could shut off Dark Cloak, but otherwise, I'm just going to let the Trubbish sit out there. Alright, so we'll see what happens. Here is a computer search, and I don't like the sounds of that. That means we're probably going to be hit by something like a Lysander or a Pokemon catcher. But when I see a computer search before a supporter is played, yep, I know something is not safe here. And actually, he goes after the Rattata with Oblivion Wing, so ouch. Rest in peace, Rattata. And like I said, we have 2 of those prized, so that's not good. So now at this point, I'm thinking, all right, we may need to do something a little different. We may need to power up an Absol and Mind Jack this Yveltal. We need an alternate attacker because Rattata number 2 is in the discard pile, and Rattata 3 and 4 are in the prize cards, so we just really don't have things to attack. And that's a bad thing. Alright, so I really don't know what to do here. This is a bad position. I can't Super Fang. Even if I could, I don't think I would, because then Darkrai would just come out and, Night Spear my poor Raticate in the face, and I would have nothing to respond to that. So I'm really at a loss for what to do here. This is about as bad of a situation as we could be in. There's nothing to even junk hunt for that's any good. I have this Dark Patch, but I kind of want to save that for Absol. So I'm just going to go ahead and Tropical Beach once again. We do see a Crushing Hammer and another one. That is supremely annoying. So now I definitely won't be able to use Raticate anytime soon. And we see Darkrai getting powered up. Pal Pad shuffling in a Colress and a Lysander, and there's a Night Spear. Now, thankfully, he targeted down the Trubbish. If he would have gone after the Raticate, could have had some problems, right? That may have been very bad. But, I mean, he went after the Trubbish, which means my Raticate can live now, and that's good for me. Alright, so, this is just awful. I could end my opponent, but he only has 1 card. He was actually at 0 cards, and then he got a prize, so playing an N here seems pretty bad. I may have to Juniper, but that means I'm getting rid of lots of lasers. I'm going to go ahead and Dark Patch, just because I can. Get Tails on the second laser. And, oh man, this is just not looking good by any means. Alright, so I will be able to junk hunt at least, I guess. I could Mind Jack here, but that's not going to really do anything. We're going to get that DCE onto the Raticate, and then I guess we just junk hunt. So far this has been a disaster for Team Raticate. This is just, I could not imagine a worse scenario right here. We are just getting destroyed left and right by Darkrai, by Yveltal, by everything, and nothing seems to be going our way. We do get hit by another Night Spear, and that means Sableye is going to go down, but this means I do get to Super Fang this Darkrai for a knockout, so maybe this isn't the worst thing in the world. Maybe we can find something to do. I don't really know. I will get a Dark Patch onto the Absol this turn, so we can power that up and potentially knock out that Yveltal, the regular one, if it happens to come out. Otherwise, yeah, I need to Super Fang. I would love to get another Rattata here, but like I said, 2 are prized. So my best thing I could probably do here is Skyla for a Super Rod, and then Level Ball for another Rattata. Super Rod is prized as well. Okay, so this just keeps getting better. Alright, so let's Skyla for the Lightning Energy and the Darkness Energy. And we can at least attach, I guess, to Absol. I don't feel like I'm going to be using Minun anytime, so maybe the Lightning won't matter, but I don't really need darkness for anything else, so we'll just put the darkness onto Absol. And oh wow, those attacks are apparently whited out. Apparently nobody likes Raticate, but all right, Super Fang taken down. A Darkrai in one hit. All right, the comeback trail begins. On the bright side, we do have Garbotoxin shutting off Darkrai's Dark Cloak, so we do have that going for us. It's about all we have going for us, but we have that going for us. And yeah, that's about it. Alright, we'll have to see what happens here. We'll probably see an Oblivion Wing. We could see a Tropical Beach. That is something we could see. My opponent could fill his hand up to 7 and go that route, but no, he is going to go for the Oblivion Wing. Seems to make a little bit of sense, I suppose. Now, this does open up the Absol to Mind Jack the Yveltal for a knockout, which means I wouldn't have to waste a Hypnotoxic Laser. But then if I did that, I would also walk into a 2-prize Night Spear, losing the game. So you can see this can go either way. Which one do I want to do? I think I'm just going to Super Fang and Laser for the knockout. But, I mean, if my opponent Night Spears, he would have to also have a Dark Claw, Muscle Band, or Hypnotoxic Laser to knock out the Absol. So maybe it's a little safer to just Mind Jack here. I don't know. He would also need an Energy, which he didn't have on the last turn. Doesn't have a supporter. So you know what? We're just going to use Absol to Mind Jack for the knockout. And we'll have to see what happens from here. Alright? So let's see if Darkrai comes out, if an Yveltal comes out. What is it going to be? Yveltal does come out. And okay. That means, oh, he's got an Energy and an Energy Switch, which means we're going to get Evil Balled for the knockout. Ouch. I'm not sure if that was better than a Night Spear in that particular situation, but alright, well, we're actually in a decent spot. Alright, so we can get a laser on this Yveltal EX. Seems like a pretty good plan. Go ahead and do that. And then I'm probably going to end my opponent down to 1 card, and we can Super Fang for the knockout. Now I'm trying to see, do I play my Dowsing Machine before using N? And I might actually do that. I'll get rid of the Lightning Energy, and then I could probably get rid of... I probably should have gotten rid of the N. I'm just trying to discard excess cards and just improve my odds of drawing a Hypnotoxic Laser. I think I actually should have discarded the N instead of the Juniper there, but hindsight is 20/20. I get another double colorless, which means I won't lose to Hypnotoxic Laser now, and we could use our blank attack Super Fang for the knockout, and all of a sudden we are tied 1-1 in prizes, and my opponent just has a Darkrai with a single Energy on it. We do see the Hypnotoxic Laser, so I would have lost if I kept that Raticate with 10 HP in the active spot. But the Laser puts me asleep, and my opponent draws a DC attached to the Darkrai. No! Raticate stays asleep! No! Oh, well, even if I woke up, I also didn't draw Hypnotoxic Laser, so this is just unlucky on top of unlucky. Ouch. Yeah, this was just bad. Now I have to Tropical Beach and just hope my opponent doesn't have an Energy to Night Spear for the game. And does he have it? There's a Burbank City Gym. And I don't know. There's a Sycamore. No. That means, there's the Energy. And that means Darkrai will Night Spear my poor Raticate. And we're so close, yet so far from beating our faux Darkrai here. So, upsetting loss, but we tried our heart out. Raticate just did what he could, and it just wasn't enough this time. But man, we were so close, and we were so far behind at the start of that game, and then managed to claw our way out, dig our way out with Raticate. But at the end of the day, Darkrai prevails. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will certainly have some more for you soon. I am Pooka from the Top Cut, and I'll see you guys next time.